downs, and when you're in the plus column in that regard, you're doing a tremendous job.
Halftime statistics certainly would indicate what we'd noticed, Dick. Almost a dead even race in all of the early stats: first downs, rushing, and passing. Of course, total yardage. And the passing department, Marino was only 1 for 5 in his first 5 passes, so he's come on strong later in the first half here. And that one big turnover you talked about, Dick, a very well played first half.
So kicking off will be Ray Wershing. He'll be kicking right to left. One of those rare days at Candlestick where the wind is not a factor. The late setting sun will be for a team moving right to left on your screen. A receiver looking back toward the quarterback on the far sidelines will be looking directly into the sun. Wershing gets it started in the second half. Fulton Walker at the 1. 15-20. 25 and tripped up at the 27-yard line. Dana McLemore, and he's still running, but there was a whistle. 25-yard return.
Ron Ferrari running him down from behind.
Let's reintroduce the principals, the starting lineups. Dan Marino, the rookie quarterback with Tony Nathan and Andra Franklin in the backfield for the Dolphins. The wide receivers, Mark Super Duper. And on the other side, the veteran Nat Moore, 2 touchdown catches in the first half. Bruce Hardy for the injured Dan Johnson at tight end. John Giesler, Bob Kuchenberg, Dwight Stevenson. Right guard is Ed Newman, and Cleveland Brown will be in at right tackle for Eric Loxo. Loxo injured a knee in the first half. Cleveland Green, I'm sorry, at his tackle position. Well, Dan Johnson, we see, is starting at tight end open this second half. But Green, indeed, number 74, is at right tackle for Loxo. Franklin, the only running back. And indeed, perhaps they spotted something off that left side, and they run behind Giesler. Good yardage defensively in the red jerseyed San Francisco side. Lawrence Pillars starting at defensive left end with Pete Kugler on the nose, and Dwayne Board, an outstanding player. Willie Harper, the veteran linebacker, inside the rookie Ellison, along with Hacksaw Reynolds, who recovered that key fumble. Keena Turner, the other outside backer. And the defensive backs are Lott, and right at the corners, Williamson and Hicks at safety. Second down and 3. Franklin starting wide, then diving up the middle to the 46. And that's going to be close to a first down. 3 of these 4 defensive backs coming into the league as rookies in the Super Bowl year. Lott, Wright from Missouri, Lott from USC, Williamson from Pittsburgh. They were all rookies the same year. And Dwight Hicks, he's the old man in the group. He's a 5th year back from Michigan.
And the 3 leading tacklers for the San Francisco defense in the first half: Williamson, Wright, and Lott.
And that's the way it's been going all year.
Yes, in fact, if you look at this tackling statistics for the 49ers, Lott's their leading tackler coming into the game with 64, followed by Wright with 45, and Eric Hicks with 44. And you don't get that amount of tackling from most secondaries. These are aggressive secondary people, but still, I don't know that that's such a great stat. That means you're getting a lot of ball carriers into the secondary, a lot of receivers into the secondary, and that's a positive and negative stat at the same time, Dick.
Just short of the first down on the measurement, as you saw. So with inches to go, 3rd down Miami.
Shula coming out, and this first series of downs so important for a team to establish their tempo for the second half. Shula coming right out to establish the running game. May come back here, and well, I think he'll go for the first down. I don't think he'll go for the big one here.
3 tight ends in there. Going wide to Nathan. And that close to breaking for a long run for Nathan. A first down at the 48. Eric Wright, number 21, from the corner, made the tackle for San Francisco. Wright, the leading interceptor with 5 this year in that San Francisco secondary.
Tony Nathan exploding on that play, and that was not the kind of play you would necessarily expect. Shula crossing up the 49er defense, who expected that play to come up inside. Nathan doing a good job of getting outside and finding some room. Carlton Williamson had blitzed to the outside, had a chance to make the tackle, but Nathan eluded him.
From the San Francisco 48.
Air ball.
Play action by Marino. Got a man open, Moore again, and the veteran is inside the 20-yard line to the 19. Oh my, Bob Horn, the linebacker, coming back to help Ronnie Lott, and Moore with 2 touchdown catches in the first half gets 30 on that play.
Well, Nat Moore enjoying himself thoroughly today. Just a little delay pattern, trying to get by the linebacker, does so effectively, finds room there. Bob Horn coming back from the inside, but what they're exploiting there is the amount of room between the linebackers and the deep dropping of those defensive backs. And when you have some speed receivers in the game and you can send a duper deep, you force those defensive backs deep and you can take advantage of those short zones.
Miami trying to break the 14-all tie on the first possession of the second half. From the 19, a little delay to Nathan, and that didn't work. Thanks to Lawrence Pillars in his 8th year from Alcorn State.
Pillars reacting very well to that play, and he's the kind of player that is very steady for these 49ers. Not as spectacular a rusher perhaps as Board, but plays the run extremely well and is a very good pass rusher as well.
Meanwhile, Dan Marino, will he be the first quarterback since Bob Waterfield in 1945, a rookie quarterback to lead a team into the playoffs? As you see other late game scores, Seattle still in front.
Got a trivia question. I'll get you in a minute with it, Dick.
Okay. Second down and 9 at the 18. Looking for Moore again. And he's open.
Oh!
Nat Moore was wide open, had beaten Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott's got to be shaking his head down there. He's been on the short end of a couple of those one-on-one battles with Nat Moore in the end zone today. Certainly had that ball been delivered, you've got to give Marino under a great deal of pressure. Let's see what Nat did to get free. Oh, great move. Just took him inside, got him turned. Marino had to throw the ball a little bit before he wanted to, and he had to guess where Moore was going to be. Not able to get him the ball.
Pass rush saved a touchdown. It's 3rd and 9 from the 18. That's Moore in motion. They go the other way, and it's incomplete to Clayton. Richard Blackmore on the coverage, and again Marino throwing under pressure. Jeff Stover on top of him along with Fred Dean. So Uwe von Schamann, who was 8 for 14 this year but has missed 6 of his last 8 and did not really kick that well in practice yesterday, will try a relatively short field goal attempt. It'll be about 35 yards.
In defense of von Schamann, 2 of those misses, Dick, were from 50 or beyond. So he has been an excellent kicker, but is just not hitting the ball well. In fact, you could hear it, that some of the players saying, if you listen to it, he's just not getting his full foot on the ball.
Don Strock to hold.
Oh, I think he got that one.
Down the middle, and Miami has taken the lead with 3 minutes and 45 seconds gone in the third quarter. Uwe von Schamann connects from 35 yards, and the Dolphins lead by 3. Uwe von Schamann keeps it up after kicking a 35-yard field goal to give Miami a 17-14 lead, and the 49ers about to get the ball for the first time in this second half.
And we've had some wind kick up all of a sudden, which you can do here just off the bay at Candlestick. They're going to have to hold the ball for von Schamann. William Judson, the man holding it down. That takes one man out of coverage.
Bill Ring and Dana McLemore are deep, and it
Whoa.
won't matter because he's going to kick that right out of the end zone. That's 5 yards out of the end zone. That makes that about a 75, 80-yard kick in the air. Other scores, the Jets have taken a 7-3 lead against the Colts in the third quarter. Rams lead 14-0 against the Bears. Mike Ditka not able to use the emotion of the Palace week for the Bears, apparently. Seattle 20-3 against Denver up in the Kingdome in the third quarter.
Really.
Washington winning 24-0. How about those Seahawks?
How about those Hawks?
Chuck Knox on for Coach of the Year. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl champs of 2 years ago, the 49ers have it. And Roger Craig stacked up short yardage.
Running over at the right side of that Miami defense, Kim Bokamper has come out of the lineup. He's been nursing a sore knee. Mike Charles, a rookie, who is one of the biggest rookies we've seen in a long time, listed officially at 280 pounds, but Shula said he got him on a surprise weigh-in the other day, and he came in at 297. Said 2 days later they weighed him again. He weighed 280.
Well, that's a lot of money in your trousers or something. On 2nd down and 8. Montana with Baumhauer in pursuit, and Montana ducks out of bounds with a first down at the 30 and a half.
Dick, we talked about the looseness of the turf. Charlie Bowser had blitzed in from his right linebacking position, and he saw Montana start to move as if he wanted to come out, tried to plant his feet, went right on his back. You'll see Bowser here. Watch him as he tries to set his feet. Feet go right out from underneath him. And what a quick reaction for Montana. Knows now that there is no contain and simply gets outside, runs away from Bob Baumhauer, steps out of bounds just like he's marking it with his foot. First down.
Yeah, didn't pass on that one. He's run the ball at times this year and has over 170 yards on the season. First down play, Roger Craig hit immediately by 71. Big Mike Charles from Syracuse, the number 2 draft pick. They're all waiting for Charles to get a sack. He does not have his first pro sack. He apparently does a levitation celebration, he calls it, where he actually has the quarterback that he sacked raise up off the ground. Even Shula says, I can't wait for that one.
I can't either. Kim Beaucamper's gone in. They actually would prefer to have Beaucamper in. He's a better pass rusher than Charles. Charles, of course, on 2 strong knees and with that size, able to play the run very effectively.
Well, it's really closer to 2nd and 10. There was no gain on that last play. Montana drilling it to Francis, who has it out to the 48-yard line, but a flag is down back where Montana threw the ball.
Russ Francis has not been as big a factor in the offensive plans of the 49ers as everyone expected him to be. Certainly not so last year, and in the early going this year, not catching nearly as many passes you would expect him to. 16 passes on the season, but he has been a factor here in this ball game.
Illegal block against the 49ers, and that will deny a 17-yard gain. Bill Walsh, 51-year-old head man of the 49ers. Those are the ones that kill you.
You see the frustration there, and he just this is the kind of play you just don't have many good plays for. You start going with that length of yardage against a good defensive team, and they'll put the pass defense specialists in there.
Chop block, 71, offense, 2nd down.
Keith Fawnhorst, the right tackle, with a guilty block.
Well, of course, he's working on Betters on the inside. They're trying to keep the best pass rusher off their quarterback, and it can happen.
Back at the 15-yard line, 2nd and 15. It's 2nd and 25. Down the field and wide open is Jeff Moore, and he has a first down at midfield. Jeff Moore just into the game from Jackson State, and it's a 34-yard play before Brodzinski and Lyle Blackwood can make the tackle.
And who said that Bill Walsh didn't have a play for this particular down? Splits the zone. Mike Kozlowski, number 40, the man who's got to pick up Jeff Moore. And Moore able to find the opening in that zone defense, able to get a good shot right there from Montana. But watch the shot that Montana takes from Doug Betters, number 75. Just as he unleashes that football, Betters is all over him, but what a pretty strike.
At the 50-yard line, and they send Craig up the middle for about 3 yards. The score, Miami 17, San Francisco 14, with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter here in San Francisco. Let's check elsewhere. NFL 83, New York.
All right, Dick, you mentioned the score a moment ago, the Jets taking the lead against Baltimore. Here's how they did it. Richard Todd, 50 yards to the sprinter Lamb Jones, who gathers it in. So the Jets shut out in the first half, take the lead in the 3rd quarter. Back to you, Dick.
All right, and thanks to NFL 83 right on top of that one. So the Jets are in front on Todd's throwing arm. 2nd and 7. Wendell Tyler to the 45, where it'll be 3rd down and a little less than 5 for San Francisco.
Dick, this is the situation you mentioned a few moments ago with a team driving toward the far end of the field, the sun coming in over the top, and you're going to be blinded looking back at that quarterback on a good 50% of that field. That means that Montana is probably going to have to throw to the ball to his left. Be a little difficult. You see how the sun is dropping now behind the stadium. It's just like a glaring spotlight out into the far corner of that field.
And you can see the angle left by those uprights, those tower supports. 3rd and less than 5, and there's the first sack, and Betters gets him. Make that the 2nd sack of the day, and Betters' 14th of the season. He was the leader at the start.
Beaucamper also there to get a piece of that sack, but it was Betters, and I think We've still got Montana on the field.
Montana's not up yet.
Oh, and what a loss that would be if he is indeed injured.
And Montana obviously in pain. He tried to get up and could not.
It looked like Betters was actually almost parallel to the ground, and that his legs kind of cut Montana down. Montana breaking to the right. Maybe we can see it again. You look at the replacement for him, and they are looking at his knee, left knee. Never a good sign.
49er punting team is on, as that was a third down sack. Here it is again.
Chance to see it for yourselves. Betters will be coming from the top of your screen. Montana sees him and starts out to his right. Looked like and it is indeed Betters' legs that they kind of kicked out from underneath. Montana's legs kind of flying outside, but hard to tell exactly what he did.
Didn't look as if there was any twisting action. And
did not look that bad, but of course you don't want to take any risks. And you never know. Sometimes just a hit at the right angle in the right place can put you down. That is a good sign, though. He's walking pretty comfortably as he heads to the sideline, even though he is limping.
Saw Guy Benjamin, who was a quarterback for Bill Walsh when Walsh was the head man over at Stanford.
And I think what he's saying is that foot hit him right almost on the knee. And, well, we'll wait for a later report, but the fact that the trainers have left him is a good sign.
He had some minor knee surgery earlier this year, did Montana on the knee. Tom Oroz punted only twice in the first half. Clayton back inside the Miami 20. Whoa, that was very close. Rodell Thomas was in on top of him. The ball kicks out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So that's where Miami will put it in play when we return. It appears that Montana's okay. Dolphins lead by a field goal. Very nearly blocked, Merlin.
Certainly was. Rodell Thomas right here is the man coming in. You get a chance to watch him. And look how close he comes to that punt. Just comes inside, does not get a block there. Boy, somebody's going to get their tail chewed on that one. Supposed to stop him right on the line, and if he had stayed on the right angle, he would have blocked that ball. I think he was afraid of roughing the kicker.
So Miami takes over at the 22, and it's Andre Franklin behind a good block. And he's all the way to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 17 for Andre Franklin.
Andre Franklin injured both of his shoulders earlier in the year, and talking to him yesterday, this is the first game he's played since that time without having to tape his shoulders. And I think it's showing in the way he's attacking the defense today. What a big bull he is, getting downfield and getting a big first down for this Miami defense, or the Miami offense, who have proven in this second half that they can move the ball as well on the ground as they can in the air.
Woody Bennett comes in with Tony Nathan now behind Marino. First down at the Miami 40. 17-14, Dolphins lead, third quarter. Look at that. Is it good? They still have not signaled. I believe that's going to be a good catch.
I think it's, well, when the ball is bouncing your way, no.
No, the official there on the sidelines never gave the signal, but apparently they're going to call it incomplete.
Well, that's just like handing that ball back up. Good job by Marino. He's getting good protection from that offensive line. Such an important part of the passing game. Now he throws a bit of a dangerous pass here. 3 49ers have a shot at it, and it's Locke that bounces it up. Moore gets his hands on it. Oh,
looks
boy,
as
I'll
if
tell you, that's awfully close to
bounds.
the line. An official standing right there. Now, the fact that he did not signal may have indicated he didn't see that one.
Yeah, you don't expect that kind of play. You're looking into a lot of things, not that one. That one's incomplete, and one of the few times that Marino has really missed his man. That's back-to-back throws that were not good by Marino. Bruce Thigh is the report on Joe Montana, not the knee. And he may be back.
You see him with a little ice tape to it right now to limit the swelling, which is the big problem in an injury of that kind later on, at least in the healing process. He is not moving very crisply on the sideline, and I don't think they would take a chance with him if there was a danger of additional injury. But he is a tough football player. And he's a good athlete as well as being a good quarterback.
3rd and 10 for Marino out of the shotgun at the 40. Over the middle to Joe Rose, and he's caught by Keena Turner. Turner from Purdue, and that's far short of the first down.
Far short of the first down, and maybe not a great play, but still a great read from Marino. An all-out blitz by the 49ers. He was still able to get that ball out, get it on target, get it to Rose, and Rose was able to get a few yards with it.
Picked up 5, Merlin, and had it not been for Turner's solid tackle, and Rose had room upfield, but Turner denied, and on 4th and 5, finally get to see Reggie Roby, 6th-round draft pick. And he can really root them high.
Kicked him just about to the top of the stadium today as we were watching him.
McLemore back at the San Francisco 17.
Snap.
And a bad kick off the side of the foot. And the 49ers are going to benefit. That's going to come way out as they mark it 30, 35, 33-yard line as Roby, after the bad snap, that broke his concentration, and he scuffed one, 22 yards. So the 49ers, trailing by 3, get a break.
Advantage, not a home field disadvantage.
After the short punt by Roby, Wendell Tyler, he's met rudely as Blackwood comes up to support Charles' initial hit after a short gain. 17-14 the score. For those of you who did not hear it, and I'm sure NFL 83 has been on top of it, Mark Wilson of the Los Angeles Raiders, a broken bone in his shoulder is the report that we have received here at the press level in San Francisco, and that's why Jim Plunkett finished the game today in Kansas City, the Raiders eventually winning 28-20.
Here in the action, Montana back in the game, and obviously that's not a serious problem for him, that bump to the leg. There were his numbers. Impressive.
On 2nd and 6. Tyler again to the 41-yard line. That'll be short of the first down by a couple. And again, Bill Walsh, as he promised, he wants to establish his running game.
Wants to run the football, and obviously a game this close where both teams have demonstrated the ability to run the football and throw it. Really a close battle between these two offensive coordinators and head coaches. Shula, of course, calling the plays, as is Bill Walsh. And I've got to tell you, I admire the way both of these men handle their teams and handle their offensive calls in particular.
4 minutes left in the third quarter. That's Jeff Moore in motion. They throw to Moore. Yeah, there's a case where he was looking at the ball, he was looking at the sidelines, and was also looking into the sun. That was the angle. 17-14 Miami. Go to NFL 83.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. Denver's 4-game winning streak is in jeopardy for Seattle. Dave Craig from Milton College, which no longer exists, throws to Paul Johns for the touchdown. Seattle now leads at 20-3. A surprise there. Back to you, Dick.
Yeah, but no surprise, Len Berman, that Paul Johns continues to play so well. He's a mighty impressive young receiver from Tulsa. Tom Oros, a dying quail.
Another bad kick.
And Mike Kozlowski alertly came in from a wing to fair catch that ball at the 31-yard line.
Right play by Kozlowski. Had that ball hit the ground, could have kicked off for long yardage. 28 yards on the punt, Dick.
And a timeout at Candlestick. San Francisco, new stadium downtown. There's someone arguing the point, 1-8. Let's get out of Candlestick. It's the stadium's fault.
Not today. What a beautiful day for football.
Marino. Oh, threw the wrong man, Ronnie Lott. Mark Duper had gone downfield. There was no one there except Lott, and Marino threw him a pretty good pass. Lott with a diving try couldn't come up with it. That would have been a touchdown the other way.
That's got to be a pure out-and-out mistake by the two, or at least a miss of communication between the two. No question, Marino expected to break to the outside, and Duper, reading the defense, headed downfield, and Marino hung it out there, and Lott still shaking his head because he didn't get it.
He's fortunate to have extricated himself from that problem. Woody Bennett. And the big fullback able to turn the corner to the 38-yard line. It'll be short of the first down, bringing up third down, 3.5 minutes remaining third quarter. Miami with the ball and a 3-point lead. Let's go to New York.
All right, Dick, let's check out Shea Stadium. The Colts trailing at 7-3. They send Curtis Dickey to the near side. Here he comes charging. He gets in there, and the Colts regain the lead. They now lead at 10-7. Back to Candlestick.
All right, Len, we talked about Chuck Knox. How about Frank Kush? If the Colts win, they're 6-4 this year and still in the thick of the Eastern Division of the AFC. Miami trying to gain sole possession with a win today after Buffalo was beaten. This is third down and 2. Incomplete to Hardy at the 40-yard line. And the 49ers get a roughing penalty, and that'll carry a first down.
Number 50, Ricky Ellison. And one thing you will not be allowed to do in this kind of game is go after the head and the helmet. They felt that Ellison, although the ball had not been controlled, in fact rolling on the ground, had taken a shot at the head of Bruce Hardy, and they'll mark it off effectively.
Yeah, the 49ers had stopped Miami and would have forced the punt except for that penalty.
And that's the kind of play that'll just, I'll tell you, the 49er coaching staff will review that one in depth on Monday. George Seifert, the defensive coordinator, will spend some time talking to young Ricky Ellison and explaining you don't make that kind of dumb mistake, especially when you've stopped the offensive team and stopped the drive.
Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 50, defense, first down.
Here it is again. You judge for yourself. Hardy unable to make the catch, and Ellison comes in to make sure that he's down, even though the pass is incomplete.
There's no chance on the play. It's going to be over. In fact, it is over. The ball is on the ground, and there's the roll right there.
But in fairness to Ellison, he may not have seen the ball from that angle. He's coming from behind the play. Fans, of course, don't like it. Marino going for 6, and there's Moore open again. That is the 4th time that Moore has been wide open, twice for touchdowns and twice where Marino has just missed, and a flag is down.
Looked like Big John Giesler in a battle with Fred Dean on the outside, and a little holding going on there. Let's see if that's the one they ticket. Penalties working themselves out. Don Shula obviously will spend some time with his troops talking about penalties too.
But quickly, Shula getting the next play in, sent in by tight end Bruce Hardy. Hardy dislocated a little finger not too long ago, put it back in place himself, and now he's back at work. He's from Arizona State.
57, offense, first down.
The center, Dwight Stevenson, called for the foul. Ball back to the 44-yard line where it's 1st and 20 for Marino. Crowd still unhappy. Tony Nathan. One of the few times they have swept to the right today. He's out to the 48-yard line, a gain of only about 4 yards. Carlton Williamson and Dwayne Board made the tackle. Eric Loxo, as we reported, injured earlier in the game in the first half.
Dick, one of the things that has hurt this Miami offense, they lost their backup center, Mark Dennard. And Dennard, one of his chief responsibilities was snapping on the shotgun formation. Now they've had to enlist Dwight Stevenson to snap in that formation, and they're not quite as likely to do it because Dwight has not snapped that much out of the shotgun.
Second and long from the 48.
Blitz again.
Marino, good job. Incomplete, and Ronnie Lott making a fine play, knocking the ball away from Cooper.
We'd indicated that Marino really does not want to run that football. He's willing to run, and he's able to run, but he still wants to throw it. He gets a chance here to throw to his favorite receiver, Mark Duper. Duper getting time. He's wide open early. Marino did not have time to get it away. Finally gets the ball off, and Lott has used his speed to cover the distance behind and shut it down. But watch how quick he is to get away there. Good, strong running, and boy, that's a rifle release. Just quick, bing, and it's gone.
Duper had gone off the field, and no one replaced him. Here comes Clayton on very late. The clock is already at 6 seconds. They'll have to take a
timeout. Yep.
Or it would have been a 5-yard penalty. So the fact that young Mark Duper went off the field, no one saw that move, and they only had 10 men. So a timeout. Ball at the 48. When we return, it'll be 3rd down and 15 for Miami. The Dolphins lead 17-14.
For a touchdown. Sammy Winder takes it in to close it to 20-10 Seattle. But the story there, DeBerg is hurt. Look who's at quarterback now for the Broncos. It's John Elway trying to rally him. Let's go back to you now.
And Miami using using one of its second half timeouts. Has it third down and 15 at its 48-yard line. Marino in a shotgun. Incomplete for Mark Clayton at the 35. So Marino a bit unlucky in that sequence. He had two good throws, and Clayton and Duper unable to come up with the ball against a tough pass defense. It was Eric Wright on the coverage that time.
Dan Marino trots off the field, and we heard that John Elway back in the game, getting a chance to get some playing time. And of course, Elway drafted by the Colts, but of course ended up in Denver. And those are the quarterbacks drafted ahead of Dan Marino. But it's Marino who's getting the rave reviews at this point in the season and has earned them.
Well, when you see how talented he is, it's hard to believe that so many could have overlooked him. Roby, he hits this one, and it's a fair catch. McLemore at the 17-yard line of San Francisco. 1 minute and 36 seconds left in the third quarter. San Francisco with the ball trailing by 3. The Princess Stacy, starring Lindsay Wagner, Robert Urich, Claudia Cardinal, Stacy Keach, Princess Stacy, all tonight on NBC. Wendell Tyler. 33 yards for Tyler.
One of the interesting things about good running backs is that they often make big plays out of apparent little plays. Tyler getting a good block by Craig and a good block by Francis. Explodes downfield. Now looks like he's going to get stopped right there by Glenn Blackwood, and Lyle in tandem, but just kept his feet moving and kept going. Gets all the way down to the 50-yard line.
Gerald Small finally made the tackle. This is Craig. He breaks some tackles. They can't get him down. Roger Craig.
Nine yards on the play. And Dick, you said it earlier in our conversations with Bill Walsh. You ask him what the biggest improvement in this team is. He starts with this young man, but also mentions the running game. And of course, with Tyler back and healthy, the two of them in tandem add a great deal to the offensive punch.
Well, they're both over 400 yards. That's a good 1-2 punch. And look at Craig's desire. 9 yards, second down and 1 at the Miami 41. Craig again. And how is that, Merlin, that for most of the game a team will be stopped running the football and then suddenly everything seems to work?
One of the things that you really get out of a bright offensive coaching staff is the ability to find the weaknesses in a defense. One of the things that they are doing right in that situation is taking advantage of Mike Charles. Charles, playing at that defensive end position, does not have that much experience. And you see that the change has been made now by Arnsparger. He puts Bocamper back into the game. They went right at the rookie on that play.
And these are the final seconds of the third quarter. The 49ers have a first down inside the 35 when we return for the fourth quarter right after these messages from your local station. Moving on first down with the run, averaging 7 yards on first down, running the football in the second half. Have a first down at the 34, pass this time, and it's caught by Easton Ramson and a gain of 4. Ramson, the backup tight end, tackled by Lyle Blackwood. Let's look at the three-quarter statistics.
First quarter stats were dominated by Miami, evened up at the half. And here in the third quarter, the yardage going even further in favor of the 49ers as they've stretched it out now to 320 yards total offense against 281 for the Dolphins. Time of possession still slightly in favor of the Dolphins, but right now it's the 49ers who are getting the big plays, Dick.
And they appear to be the fresher team as we start this fourth quarter. 2nd and 6. Craig. Oh, he's running like they gave him a new body here in the second half. Gains 4 more before the hit by Brzezinski.
The San Francisco 49ers coaches described this defense as a finesse defense. They said that they really don't want to have to battle you one-on-one. They want to take away what you're doing by position. And if you can get them into one-on-one battles, we're going to get some yardage and we're going to make the big plays. At the same time, one of the problems that the 49er offense has had is punching the ball in from inside the 20. They've had difficulty doing that during the last 4 weeks.
3rd and 1. Craig. Breaking tackles, and he has a first down as both Blackwoods had a shot at him, and he refused to go down. Glenn Blackwood had him in the backfield.
They both hit him, and it looked like there was no way that he was going to get away. Takes a shot right there from Glenn and a second shot from Lyle, and absolutely refuses to go down. They were lucky to get him off his feet with a big first down. That's a tremendous play.
He has 66 yards, not Blackwood, but Craig, and Tyler has 75. So again, a tough to defense. Both these men running effectively. It's Craig's turn. To the 18-yard line. Stretching forward, Ernest Roan and Bob Brzezinski collaborated on the tackle.
Brzezinski doing a good job of getting upfield, getting off his man, and then peeling in behind to pull down Craig. But Craig, on a play that didn't seem to go anywhere, still managed to make about 3 yards, Dick. And let's see if that 49er problem holds here again. And Bill Walsh said it very succinctly. He said offensive teams are having more trouble because defenses are playing a lot of zone defense down inside the 20, and we are going to have to run the ball more inside the 20. Let's see if they do it.
Trailing by a field goal. Montana going for 6. No, Mike Wilson hadn't quite turned to look for the ball. William Judson on the coverage, number 49 for Miami. That'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Montana, he has really been remarkably accurate. His career percentage over 63% starting this year. He's 65.5% this year, but he's a plus 30 touchdown interception.
And really, that's one of the most important numbers for a quarterback. When he can put that many touchdowns on the board and not turn the ball over to a defense any more than Montana has, those are impressive numbers.
Looking for Wilson, and he's hit as Bowser again. Almost every pass play, Bowser from that linebacker position comes in on a dog or a blitz. And on 4th down and 7, in comes Ray Wersching, the no-look field goal kicker. Refuses to look at the uprights. It's Montana. He said the reason that all started, he has such bad vision. He said, I couldn't see the uprights anyway. When I looked at any field goal of distance, they were too far away from my vision. So now that I have the soft contacts, they work. But I've established a habit. I just don't look.
And he only has missed one field goal all year that hasn't been blocked. That last week, a 46-yarder.
This is 36. And it is good. Well, he finally looks, but not until he's kicked the ball. And it's tied again at 17.
Well, let's take a peek as Ray Wersching does his own peeking after the fact. Kept his head down until the ball was on his way. Well, maybe he's changing his style after missing one last week.
Well, it looked good to him at 17 all.
On the scramble for the Baltimore Colts. At this point, they lead by 3. Pagel finally throws the pass. Bobby Jackson interception. No, off his hands. Curtis Dickey touchdown instead. Baltimore leads by 10. Back to Candlestick.
Now the Baltimore Colts making things difficult on the New York Jets. The Jets, like the 49ers, having trouble winning at home. And today it's Baltimore trying to move into contention in the AFC East. Beautiful kick by Wersching. Walker going to gamble. He's in trouble, but breaks out of there and does get it past the 20 to the 22-yard line. That took quite an effort by Fulton Walker, a 28-yard return. Let's bring you right up to date on all the scores today. Pittsburgh won easily against San Diego. It was New England beating Buffalo for the second time. The Patriots in the thick of the race now. Dallas spotted Philadelphia 10-0 lead, won again, 9-1. Raiders was much closer than that score indicates, 28-20. Cleveland lost to Green Bay 35-21. New Orleans, a big win for them against Atlanta. Cincinnati pounded Houston 17-12. Tampa Bay's first win of the year comes at Minnesota. Fans still booing about the call a good time ago. Give us to Franklin. Nothing there except red jerseys. Ellison and Turner making the tackle. Late action today in the NFL. Baltimore now leading the Jets 17-7. The Rams have a 14-point lead against the Bears at Anaheim. Seattle at home has an 8-point lead against Denver. Denver without the starting quarterback DeBerg, and Washington apparently will win again against St. Louis. So Pittsburgh 8-2, Dallas 9-1, and Washington trying to become the second 8-2 team this year. Miami and San Francisco started the day at 6-3. Marino. And will they allow the catch? Yes, to Duper. He was knocked out of bounds by the tackle at the 37-yard line. That'll be a first down, a 15-yard throw.
Nice pickup, and again, Marino able to use his strength to get that ball over there. And look how the concentration. Duper knows he's going to take the shot, tucks the ball away, showing excellent discipline. Got both feet down in bounds before he was driven out, and that's a big play. Looked for a moment like the enthusiasm that had carried the 49er offense down the field to that field goal was going to carry over onto defense. Now the Miami Dolphins have something going.
From the 37, a 17-all tie. 11.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Franklin, Ellison trailing the play, but the man who made the hit was Ronnie Lott, the former All-American in Southern California, one of the best athletes in the NFL. This man, a hitter. His 9 career interceptions prior to this year, 4 of them for touchdowns. He has 2 interceptions this season.
And an excellent block out there by Bob Kuchenberg, number 67. After 14 years, he's still getting out in front of those plays through an excellent block for Franklin.
A gain of nearly 5. Second down. The pump fake and going long for Duper.
Oh!
There's the flag. Somebody hit him too soon. It appeared to be a good call. Hicks and Lott trying to stop the hello goodbye speed of Mark Duper.
Again, interesting that Marino unafraid to throw the ball, even though Duper was apparently covered early. The ball slightly underthrown, and I believe what happened was that Dwight Hicks, in coming over, cleared on top of the receiver just before the ball arrived and bumped his arm. The official right on the scene did not call it. The official trailing inside did see it and did call it.
44-yard penalty.
Let's see if we can spot it from here. It is indeed Hicks, and you see him coming from the inside, and Lott as well diving in. Tapped him just before the ball arrived.
It appeared that Ronnie Lott might have gotten the arm of Duper, and now a flag goes down again.
Well, I think they're just trying to give it back to the official.
Oh. All right.
Here, you need this.
All right, the ball is inside the 15-yard line. Miami and the 49ers tied at 17 with 10 minutes and 44 seconds.
You may not be able to hear the signals, Dick.
Franklin, and he's inside the 10-yard line to the 9 before Ellison and Williamson can make the tackle. So Miami driving toward a possible go-ahead score here at Candlestick. Let's check elsewhere. NFL 83.
Dick Enberg, you mentioned the report of the Mark Wilson broken shoulder earlier. The Raider quarterback, here's how it happened in Kansas City. The sack, he'll be out 6 weeks. One of at least 4 quarterbacks injured today. We'll tell you about it later. Dick?
All right, thanks, Len. Ball at the 9-yard line, 2nd and 5 for Miami. Franklin again gets only a couple. Submarining well on the play was Williamson, who came up from his safety spot. Carlton Williamson from the University of Pittsburgh, native of Atlanta.
Dick, this is an area of the field where it's very important that you have defensive backs who are willing to tackle. Your offense or your defensive linemen really are committed to stopping the shots right up the middle, and you've got to have those good, hard-hitting defensive backs who will come up and stop those backs when they break to the outside. That's what the 49ers have done effectively on that particular play, and really throughout the last few seasons.
3rd and a long 2 outside the 6. They go with 3 tight ends, Roy Foster being the 3rd as a blocker. And the defense of the 49ers stacks him up at the 5, short of the first down. Ellison on top, but Ronnie Lott was down low, and here comes Von Schaman to try the field goal that would give Miami the lead. But already a moral victory for that San Francisco defense.
The 49ers characterized as a gambling defense. They're not afraid to come after you. And they do, in fact, get hit for some big plays because of it. But very often, they're able to make the big plays. In fact, they have set up or scored roughly 1/3 of the points for the 49ers this year.
Von Schaman hit 35-yard field goal earlier. This is 28 yards. Make that 23 yards. And Miami has the lead. Boy, that ball had a wicked hook on it. It's a good thing it wasn't from outside the 40-yard line. Von Schaman has given the Dolphins the 3-point lead. 8:34 left.
Quarterback story as you look at Steve DeBerg wrapped up. Mark Wilson, broken shoulder. DeBerg, shoulder injury. Steve Dills, hospitalized, head injury. Paul McDonald, a thumb jam. Back to you, Dick.
They call him Croter, you know, the rookie in the Budweiser commercials. That's Robert Sowell, a free agent from Howard. He has been spectacular on the Dolphins special teams. Has 3 solo tackles in each of the last 3 games. Von Schaman hits it high. Bill Ring at the goal line. And Jim Jensen, number 11 from the other side, who was a quarterback in college at Boston College, and he comes through with a vicious hit. Jensen coming in from that left side, and he is now wearing the number of a quarterback, but playing wide receiver and a special team star. Excuse me, at Boston University, a former Terrier.
He's a tough one, too.
18-yard line. Wilson right, Clark left. Miami in a field goal second half, leads by 3. Tyler. Fumble. Fawnhorse 71 came up with it for San Francisco. If it's ruled a fumble, the 49ers gain 5 yards on Tyler's miscue. Yes, it was ruled a fumble.
Ooh. That's been the knock on Wendell Tyler over the past seasons, that he'll make the big plays for you, but he will also tend to get careless with that football. And Tyler has been quoted a couple of times as saying all the great backs fumble, but I'll tell you, when you're down on that field and you're working hard to earn some yardage, you resent a back not feeling badly when that ball rolls loose.
Yeah, Keith Fawnhorst was his best friend on that one because he fell on it at 2nd and 1. Montana chased by Betters and out of bounds at the 29-yard line. That'll be a first down. Back to Wendell Tyler. In the last 6 seasons, in 60 regular season games, Tyler has fumbled 37 times. 27 of those were lost. That's too much.
Well, if you look back over the last 2 seasons, he's got some positives to show for that.
Oh, yes. How about 30 touchdowns?
30 TDs, and that's the most for any running back in the league. So it does tend to balance out, but I'll tell you, that's one of the things that they really work with Tyler here on, because those fumbles will absolutely kill you.
Clark to the left. He has a touchdown catch. Wilson to the right. First down. Good play action. Going for Clark. No, he's out of bounds. He tried to get both feet in that little stutter step, but couldn't do it. He only has 1 catch, and that was the touchdown, 34-yard touchdown that started the scoring today.
Well, I think the 49ers anticipated that Dwight Clark would be double covered all day long, and indeed they have paid special attention to him on the defensive side today. Even the pass that he got the touchdown on, there were 2 defenders on it. So they have had to go to other receivers, Mike Wilson in particular, as well as the tight end.
Interestingly, Walsh yesterday was talking about how a game suddenly dictates, well, plenty of scoring down in Anaheim. Rams lead by a touchdown against the Bears. We'll get back to Walsh in his comment yesterday. 2nd and 10. Tyler. Met hard at the 33-yard line. He said that sometimes, as much as you don't want to, you get yourself into a field goal game, a conservative game, and that's the way this thing is headed. First half was a touchdown game. 4 scores, all touchdowns. And it's 24. It was 14 all at the half. Now in the second half, all the scoring has been field goals. So now each coach perhaps thinking you at least got to get a field goal out of this to stay in a tie situation. And that's where San Francisco's Walsh is now, trailing by 3. Baltimore leading the Jets as the Jets have come back in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 6. Baumhauer after Montana. And he just does get rid of it.
Very close to being called for illegal grounding on that play.
That's what the Dolphin sidelines, they were barking out, let's get the penalty flag down.
Well, but Montana doing a good job of play acting as Bowser was chasing him down from behind. Baumhauer was the man that broke in. They stunted, sent the big defensive end inside, and Baumhauer came all the way around, but looked to me like Baumhauer not running nearly as well as he did last year. In fact, although he had a good game last week, has not had the kind of season he had in '82.
Montana with that painful injury, and he's not at full speed. You can see on that maneuver. Clayton back at the Miami 25. Oros end over end. Clayton at the 22. Has blockers. Gets to the 31-yard line. Ron Ferrari led the charge downfield along with Bill Ring. Oros not happy with his kicking today, and Montana certainly disconcerted by that thigh injury. It's 2017 Miami. Dolphins with the ball. 6.5 minutes left.
New York, here come the Jets. Richard Todd goes back. He'll hit Lamb Jones for a second touchdown of the day. The Jets are now within 3, less than 8 minutes to go. Back to San Francisco.
So the Jets with a win would be 5-5. Baltimore with a victory going for 6-4. Buffalo has lost, so they're 6-4. And Miami looking for a win that would give them 7-3 and sole possession of first place. Dolphins lead by 3. Franklin to the 31-yard line. No gain. Dwayne Board, number 76, one of the underrated players in this league from North Carolina A&T.
Franklin trying to look back inside and trying to guess on where he was going to go. And you wonder how important occasionally a player can be to a team. Now, those stats may indeed be part happenstance, but I've got to tell you, when Board is in the lineup and on the field, he does make a difference. And when he has been out of that defensive lineup, it has indeed hurt the 49ers.
6-16 without him. 2nd and 10. Marino going to run it and goes out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. That stops the clock. That won't bother San Francisco at all with 5:38 left. And it'll bring up 3rd down and about 6. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited.
5 changes made in the lineup, 4 changes made as they prepare for what they assume will be a passing down. Let's see if Schuler will oblige them with a pass.
Again, Marino, no interceptions, 2 touchdown throws out of the shotgun. 3rd and 7.
Blitz. Oh,
great play by Keena Turner, number 58. Joe Rose thought he'd get the ball, and 3 49ers are down. When's the last time you've seen that? 3 from the same team. 1 has gotten up now, Ferrari, but 2 remain down.
Very often, Dick, what happens in a situation like that is the defensive players run into each other. That's Jim Stuckey, number 79, that's still on the ground there. Let's watch Keena Turner breaking downfield with Joe Rose. Now, Rose will see the opening to the outside. Keena Turner gets the turn on him and gets across just in front of the ball and flicks it away. Boy, that would have been something else. Let's go back and maybe we can see what happened to those 49ers coming inside. Lott on the blitz, Stuckey right there, and Lott was knocked right into Stuckey. Now, I think his heels actually hit Stuckey in the head. Ron Ferrari, 54, was the other man who was knocked down in the middle of that stack. They're all off the field now, and Stuckey, I think, caught a heel right in the head. Ferrari's looking at his hip on that play.
Well, the 49ers have held with 5.5 minutes left, and now, for the first time, Roby has the full field to kick to. McLemore back at the 22.
Ooh,
beautiful
blinded.
spiral. At the 21, fumbled by McLemore. And Woody Bennett did a great job of containing. Now, the temptation when he fumbled is to come in quickly, but Bennett stayed outside, and it had not been for that alert play, McLemore had a lot of daylight and blockers on the far sidelines. 45-yard punt, 9-yard return, ball at the 29. San Francisco with plenty of time, 5:20 left, trailing by 3. Consistently hanging them 5 seconds or more in practice, only 4 on that one.
And the 49ers reminding this rookie that you got to keep your eyes open. Oh, whoa. Hello, welcome to the NFL.
Well, San Francisco. Interesting matchup. These 2 first-place teams, 2 Super Bowl teams of the last 2 years. And they're separated by a field goal with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. Clark with only one catch is to the right. Wilson to the left. From the 29. Screen. Craig. He's to the 38. Close to a first down. Ernest Roan, number 55, made the tackle.
Well, and that's the way you use your home field. Craig knows just how far he can go and keep his feet. A couple of the defensive backs trying to get their feet and make the reaction, not able to do it as effectively as he did. Very smart play. And what a key series. 4:51, 4:50 counting down. Very important for the 49ers to get down, get some points on the board here. They'd love to get 7.
2nd and 1 with 4 minutes, 40 seconds left. Great. He's at the 50. And a saving touchdown tackle by Lyle Blackwood, number 42.
Dick, one of the players that I'm sure the Miami coaches are watching carefully is Ernest Roan, number 55. Roan spent 17 days in the hospital, came back into the lineup last week, but is not totally healthy yet. I'm quite certain that one of the problems that he is going to have here late in the game is having enough energy and having enough left in that gas tank to pull him through.
And A.J. Due, the other linebacker, he returned last week after a layoff with a groin muscle pull. They both complained about running out of gas late in the game against the Rams last Sunday at the Orange Bowl. First down at the Miami 47, and Craig, he's running like a fresh horse, but not this time, as Due and Betters greeted him shy of the 45-yard line. Clock running, 3:39 left in this one. Miami's lead by 3 to New York.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. 6 minutes left up in Seattle. Here's John Elway replacing the injured Steve DeBerg. Touchdown to Steve Watson. It's still 27-19. Seattle with that 8-point lead. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Len, 2 crucial games here on the West Coast with first place implications. Craig again. He's at the 40 and down at the 36. First down, and this crowd starting to build in its enthusiasm.
Craig using his strength and his athletic ability to put a great move on Bob Brzezinski on the outside. 49ers willing to take the close, easy shot, but watch the little move he puts on right there. Brzezinski reaching for that cleat full of dirt, and all he got was there. He goes right on his back.
This whole drive, starting back at the San Francisco 38, has been Craig either running or catching the football. 4 straight times his number has come up. Now Bill Ring, number 30, giving Craig a blow, and he's inside the 35, a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Betters and Roan made the hit.
Craig taking some oxygen on the sideline, and I wonder what has happened to Wendell Tyler. Maybe Tyler bruised his shoulder somewhere along the way. Of course, this young man right here, not a young man anymore.
Well, he thanks you anyway.
In fact, you know what I said?
Now we were at the 2-minute warning, Merlin. 2 minutes remaining in the game. Miami leads by 3, but the 49ers are threatening to tie or more. This year, that would mean the line of scrimmage would be the 35-yard line. At the moment, San Francisco is at the 34. So they are in range now. 2nd down and 8, trailing by 3. There's Craig.
Oh, boy.
First down at the 21.
Well, I think they're in range now. I started to tell our audience, Dick, I talked to Wersching yesterday during practice, and I asked him, I said, does it make a difference to have the stadium completely closed in? It was open at one time. He said, I wasn't here before. And I said, I've forgotten how old I was. Great play by Roger Craig, and a good call by Bill Walsh. Knew where the opening was, guessed appropriately, and Montana able to find the open man. Montana operating, and you could see him hobbling, even heading for the line, with a bruise just above the left knee.
Yeah, there's so much attention to Clark going deep that Craig has been open underneath. Here's Craig again to the 19. Fumbles, and Miami has recovered. Doug Betters came up with a football as Craig, and that may have been a factor of his just carrying the ball so much, being used so often, that fatigue may have entered.
Well, a young man like that is throwing himself emotionally into the game, and he really had carried the ball down the field on his own effort. Now they just stripped the ball here. Betters gets inside. Brzezinski, I think it's Brzezinski actually, that stripped the ball away, And it is indeed Betters who reaches out with that long arm, he and Bowser, and came up with the football. But that is the biggest play so far of the ball game for the defense of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, but Betters gets the credit, but Brodzinski forced the fumble. He just reached in and tore the ball free from Craig. Now it's a matter of the 49er defense stopping Miami. And you saw Don Shula said, let's call time and make sure here with 1:46 remaining in the game. Miami will spend a timeout. Bill Walsh has all 3 timeouts remaining. So if he can stop Miami on this first sequence without a first down, will get another chance.
Of course, the thought in Shula's mind, control the football. Don't make a mistake. Don't turn the ball over. If we have to punt it, we'll punt it. But let's control the football, take as much time off the clock as possible.
Well, these two quality teams, Merlin, we've talked about how well-balanced and well-matched they are. That's only the second turnover. 2 fumbles in the game. One Miami lost inside the 10-yard line. San Francisco recovered. And now the 49ers, after a long drive, have fumbled when they were in field goal range.
One of the things that Bill Walsh said yesterday has certainly proved to be true. He said, we need to run the football offensively. And they're now over 180 yards, 186 yards rushing in this ball game, which is an impressive stat. And they have indeed been able to take advantage of that.
Doug Betters, who has 1 sack today to raise his NFL lead to 14, getting a little oxygen on the sidelines. Now let's see what the 49er defense does. Miami with a 3-point lead, 1:46 left. Franklin. And the play made again by Carlton Williamson, who's had an outstanding day forcing the run from his safety position.
And you can expect the ball to go to Franklin several times. You see the way he carries it. He puts both hands on the football.
So 49ers use a timeout. Anyone can call a timeout. Was it that way when you were playing, Merlin?
When I first came up, it was that way. They changed it later on, but something that perhaps caused them to change it. I can remember a situation. We were playing the Chicago Bears my rookie year. We were down by 50 points.
Only 50?
Only 50 points, and our veterans just wanted the game to be finished. There were about 50 seconds left to go in the game. The Bears had the ball. I called timeout. These veterans are going, who called timeout? Who called timeout? I was...
The rookie.
The rookie.
Just get out of here, trailing the monsters of the Midway. You still thought maybe 4 or 5 fumbles and a couple
I said
of
we get some respect. We can get a touchdown.
Well, there's a list of those who are respected. Shula with the best winning percentage among active coaches in the NFL. Landry, Grant, Knox, and Knoll. That's the boardroom there, Mahogany Row.
You wouldn't mind having a chance to put one of those names on the door of your professional football team. I'll tell you, those men have earned the right to carry those numbers too.
This does not involve the Jet-Baltimore game. Miami has a half-game lead at the moment. Should they win, of course, a full game over Buffalo. The Bills already losing. New England 5-5 with a big win today. We may be getting ahead of ourselves. 49ers, if they stop Miami, will get another chance. Franklin stopped at the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5. Timeout with 1:34 left. So what can happen here? San Francisco, should they stop Miami, another timeout. We'll get the ball with more than a minute remaining, but with all their timeouts spent. Pittsburgh and the Steelers, and the remarkable way in which they've rebuilt that team. Much has to go to Dan Rooney, Art Rooney, Chuck Knoll, and that crew in Pittsburgh to be 8-2 when they really have gone through a whole change of talent. Although Cincinnati, after the 1-6 start, 3 straight wins for the Bengals. And who's to say but what Cincinnati might put together a long run and make things difficult on a lot of people before the year's out. In the West, the Raiders had to come from behind to knock off Kansas City at Arrowhead today. Denver was tied with the Raiders for first place, but Seattle is in the midst of beating Denver. Should that happen, then they would both be 1 game behind the Raiders. We have Denver at Los Angeles next week.
And of course, that critical injury to Mark Wilson may have an impact on this on the Raiders yet.
And Steve DeBerg, we don't know how seriously injured he is with Denver. San Francisco had a 1-game lead over New Orleans and the Rams at the start today. New Orleans has won. The Rams are winning. So there's pressure on the 49ers.
Things could be knotted up pretty good in the Western Division.
Yeah, good job down there, gentlemen, to bring us up to date on those standings. It's 3rd and 5.
What a big down here. Let's see if he'll throw the football, Dick.
Nope, it's Franklin. And he didn't make it. He stopped at the 29-yard line, 4th and And timeout called with 1:29 left.
Let's climb inside of the 49ers thinking caps for a second. Roby had a punt block just a few weeks ago against the New York Jets. Turned out to be one of the big plays in that game. Let's see if they go after him here. The knock is that he is very slow to kick the ball. He's only had one block, but let's see if they decide to go after it here.
1:29 left. Of course, the clock will stop on change of possession. So Montana, when he comes on the field with his offense, will have plenty of time to engineer a drive into field goal range. So there's going to be some pressure on that Dolphin defense before this one is through. Dana McLemore back at the San Francisco 26. And Roby to punt.
A lot of pressure on a young man. A lot of pressure.
Ray Wersching hoping that he has the chance to test the pressure.
Certainly the 49ers have proven themselves to be a tough opponent today. They've been able to do most everything they wanted to, except get a few more points on the board. They'd like to get the football back here, preferably on a blocked punt. If not that, on a good return from Dana McLemore.
Looks as if they have the return on. They're double teaming the two wide men for Miami.
Now here they come inside. They tried to guess with the snap. They're trying to force them to take too long here, too.
Down to 10 seconds. Gets it away. McLemore at his 32. Oh, what a play. That was a sensational play by Heflin, Vince Heflin, because McLemore had at least 10 or 15 more yards upfield had Heflin not made the short tackle. A 40-yard punt. San Francisco brings the offense on with a minute left. The ball at the 35.
And they have two of their timeouts. No, they have no timeouts. That's right. They had to take the rest of them and stopping the offense there. A minute 20, that means the ball will have to be played to the sideline.
Ronaldo Nehemiah is in the game. The world-class hurdler is to the left. Montana. Oh, they can't afford that. He fumbles, and Miami has it again. Montana pressured by Baumhauer and Betters comes up with a loose ball.
And it's Baumhauer who shook it loose, came in behind Montana, and I've got to believe that injury to Montana had some impact on that particular play. Montana normally would have been able to run right away from Baumhauer, but pulling away on a leg that's not working made it impossible. Baumhauer just knocked the ball loose, and Betters with another big play.
So with a minute 12 left, there's no way the 49ers can stop the clock. Let's see who creates the problem for Montana. There's Baumhauer, 73, powering straight ahead, and he's able to reach in, knock it loose, and Betters, 75, trailing the play, says, I got another.
It looked to me like Montana was switching the ball from right hand to left hand to tuck it away from the traffic, and right in the middle of the switch, Bob Baumhauer just reached out with that long arm and slapped it away.
And it's only a matter of executing a couple of successful snaps now for Miami. As the Rams, you see, a final have beaten the Bears 21-14, and the combination of a Rams win, 49er loss means they're tied for first in the West.
And I wonder what Bill Walsh will do now after making the changes that hope to bring him a victory here at home. They're going to be 1-9 at home over the last two seasons.
Just hard to figure. And let's not forget the New Orleans Saints. They'll share first place. Three teams in the West, 49ers, Rams, and New Orleans, will finish today at 6-4. And for Miami, apparently they'll have a one-game lead over Buffalo and maybe Baltimore, depending on what happens between the Colts and the Jets. Now here comes the final play of the game. Now they're under 30, no way to stop the clock, and it's over.
And of course, the 49ers will be waiting for New Orleans to come to town next week.
I want to thank Bob Coffey, Mel Corvin, Dennis Kennelly, Kurt Cornell for their support. Don't forget, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins have made it 4 in a row under Dan Marino, the brilliant young quarterback from Pittsburgh. And the Toa Upavan Shaman, which has been quiet for a while, comes through with 2 key field goals. And Miami has beaten San Francisco 20-17. The 49ers have won only one of their last 10 at home. For Merlin